Hello and welcome to Party of Two Cruising. I'm Patrick, and today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Today, because we hear so much talk about who's the best cruise line out of the top three, Carnival, Norwegian, or Royal Caribbean. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down into 6 categories and see who, in our opinion, is the best out of the top 3. We are going to compare the Carnival Mardi Gras, the Norwegian Getaway, and Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas. We're going to do it in 6 different categories, and that being for price. What do you get by price? For the price you're paying, what do you get more of? Do you get more for, in Carnival or Royal Caribbean? And then we're going to do it by the ship itself, who has the best ships, the service, the food, because we're all there for the food, the entertainment, and then I'm going to throw in category 6 is which ships are more fun. Alright, we'll be right back. Alright, and welcome back. So the first category we're going to talk about is the price. Now when I talk about the price, this is first time cruiser, second time cruiser, no perks, no casino deals, nothing like that. This is strictly the regular price for, let's just say, and make it easy, first time cruisers. Okay, so first time cruisers. Let's check out the Carnival Mardi Gras on a 7-day cruise out of Port Canaveral to the Eastern Caribbean. Alright, so this is the Carnival Mardi Gras out of Port Canaveral. I just picked a date in May, and I tried to do them all in May. I have one that's in April. Royal Caribbean's in April. But as you can see, this is everything out the door for $2,336.54. Now these are all going to be balcony rooms, just your standard balcony room. Okay, no specialties, no extended balconies. This is just a standard balcony room. And you can see the price there. Now remember, Carnival doesn't come with anything. No drink packages, no excursions. Pretty much you're only going to get those deals if you go through a travel agent. So if you're booking through Carnival, this is pretty much what you're going to get for that money that you just spent. Alright, up next is Norwegian Getaway. Alright, notice here the bottom price is $2,946.46, again for a standard balcony. But one thing nice about Norwegian is they offer kind of all-inclusive stuff all the time. Like for example, this one's included the drink package, specialty dining, and it doesn't really say how many unless you go into it. Sometimes it's 1 or 2 specialty restaurants. It's included, your shore excursions are included, your Wi-Fi is included, and they've already included the 40% off and your deposits. But notice down here at the bottom, yeah, they gave you the gratuities, the bar package, the drink package, the open bar, but they charged you $305.20 for the gratuities. Your special dining gratuities, they gave you $35. They charged you the $35.60, and then naturally your port charges and taxes, which seemed kind of high to me, was $407.26. So yeah, you're going to get the drink packages and stuff, but you're going to have to figure out if that's really worth it to you, because some of you that cruise may not drink enough to warrant paying that gratuity, even though you're getting the free drink package. All right. Alright, so next up is Royal Caribbean, and that's the Oasis of the Seas. Again, standard balcony, 7-day cruise to the Eastern Caribbean out of Miami. And you can see that the room was really $38.82. They're kind of fibbing you to there a little bit. Your cruise fare, really, because they're giving you, naturally you got to put your $100 down, which they're going to subtract from that. They're giving you a 30% savings. So your subtotal is $21.36. By the time you add in the taxes and the port charges, your total is going to be $24.25.38. So it looks like that's a good deal, but again, unlike Norwegian, nothing comes with that at all. That's just your room. That's a standard room of you picking your room as well. Now, all of these, you're picking your room. You're not letting them do it, which makes it sometimes, I've seen it as less as $10 to pick your own room, to let them do it, but it's not really worth it. I always like to be where I want to be on the ship. Now, if you get a mid-cabin on this ship, it's going to cost you $80 total more. So you can add $80 more into that. So it's going to be a little over $2,500. All right, so if you look at the prices, Royal Caribbean, Carnival, kind of sort of the same. Carnival being a little cheaper. Norwegian, way up there, almost to $3,000, but they're giving you the drink package. But you have to make sure that you drink to get those drink packages, those specialty restaurants and stuff. Does it really equal out? That all depends on the person. But as far as the price goes, we're going to have to give that to Carnival. Alright, up next, the ship itself. They're all beautiful ships. But which one's the best? Alright, let's first of all start with the Carnival Mardi Gras. Alright, the Carnival Mardi Gras was built in 2020. It's 1,130 feet long. She holds 6,338 passengers. As you can see here, she has one of the best theaters that I've seen in a long time. There was no sight alignment problems. You could see from anywhere in this theater, and the seats have cup holders. This was the Limelight Lounge, which is more in midship area. It's a small venue, and once in a while they'll do the comedy shows in here. Now, one of the remarkable things about this ship is as we make our way over to the center stage, there's 3 decks that outlook the windows. You can see that in the review. I don't have time to go over everything, but there's your stage. Those backdrop windows actually turn into basically windows, and then when they want to do a show, they bring the LED screens down. You got your Java coffee, and really a beautiful ship, very clean. This is the piano bar, just listening to a lot of it in there. We actually went in there quite a bit. And then right across from it, on the other side of just on outside on the hallway, you're going to come to the Punch Liner Comedy Club. One thing I like about the Punch Liner, it does have a lot of sight problems, as you can see with the poles. But it goes right into the main theater, so if they have a big show coming up, they'll move in there. This is the Tides pool in the very back. They have the Pig and Anchor, plenty of places to eat with the Del Capitano. They have the Chabang restaurant, which are all complimentary right now on this ship. One thing they did back here was put guest services in the back away from the loud atrium. That was the nice thing about this. You needed to deal with them. It was quiet. They still have your specialty restaurants. They have the Sea Grill, which is seafood. They still have the steakhouse. Again, they have the pizza place, which is not in the back of the ship like a lot of the places. It's on the midship, and it's inside as well. The ship is absolutely, like I said, beautiful. Your outdoor areas, it has a roller coaster. It's the only roller coaster at sea. It has a 2-story Red Frog pub. And the Guy's Burger joint is actually up on deck 17. The pool, which you see right there, is down on deck 16. And it's again, a nice ship. Very beautiful ship. Laid out. Some people do not like the ship because it's kind of spread out, they said. I believe that was by design, and but it is, to us, our favorite Carnival ship. And a lot of people said, well, the Guy's Burger isn't down on the pool deck. It's actually up on deck 17, which is one deck above the pool. But again, and they put in a nice queue line at this restaurant. You'll see that here in just a second. And right there is a nice long queue line. They have the roller coaster at sea, and the Celebration that's coming out will have the same thing. Again, the deck back here on deck 16, which those doors go right into the Pig and Anchor area and the Heroes Bar, is absolutely a beautiful ship. There's a lot more to see. If you want to see all that, you can see it in the reviews. Alright, the Norwegian Getaway is 1,038 feet long. A little bit bigger than the Spirit class ships on Carnival. Again, a beautiful ship. Enjoyed it. Had a great time on it. But it also had a few little negative things. But first let's talk about it. And we're going to get into food and entertainment later. But the ship itself, again, was nice. The casino was nice. It was a half non-smoking, half smoking casino. And so that made it a little bit nicer for the people that wanted to gamble. Now, they had a couple of these glass things on the ship that you could stand over and look all the way down to the bottom of the ship. Now, when we talk about the atrium, this is the atrium area, and it also had a big screen TV and stuff down there. And the problem with it was so loud, and you had to deal with the service agents down there at guest services. You could not hear anything. And they did everything in there from movies to game shows to trivia, and it was always very, very loud. I had an incident on the ship. I had to go talk to them, a medical issue in the bill, and we couldn't even hear. We had to go back to a private room. Now, we had a cabin on this ship which was actually on the 13th deck. Unlike most ships that don't have a 13th deck, NCL does have a 13th deck, and I guess that 13th ended up being unlucky for me with the medical issue. But the cabin was nice. Seemed a little tight between the bed and the wall, and but it was still very comparable to Royal Caribbean's cabins and Carnival's cabins. I think Carnival's are just maybe about a foot a little bit wider. Again, even on the Mardi Gras. Now, the outside deck areas were really nice. You could walk all the way around the ship on a lot of the decks. And they also had outside seating at a lot of the restaurants. And we'll talk about food again in a second. But they had a lot of seating outside on the outside decks. They had smoking areas and stuff like that outside. So that worked out good for them, the smokers, that they could go out there and smoke. Okay, now the Norwegian Getaway's biggest fault on this ship, again, besides the noise in the atrium, was the pool area. If you look at this pool area, you'll notice that there is really no seating around the pool. The way it's designed, there's no area. And if you and right to the left of your screen, there's a cage over there. And it's a glass cage for all the smokers that want to smoke. They have to go into that little glass cage. And it's actually kind of funny to walk by and see them and sitting in there smoking. And they look like some kind of animals on display, I guess. But if you see the bars and everything that are so close to the pool, and then basically there's only like 5 or 6 chairs around the pool, if you look in this picture. So it was kind of very disappointing, the pool area. One thing I've got to say about Carnival and Royal Caribbean, which you'll see Royal Caribbean's in a minute, is their pool area is actually very nice. They're wide. They're almost the width of the ship all the time. And there's lots and lots of chairs for people to sit at. And when you have a wife like mine that likes to spend most of her time out there by the pool, you need that area. This was horrible, and that's one of the reasons why we would probably not go back on this ship again. Alright, now let's move into Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas. Alright, Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas is 1,184 feet long, and she is a mega ship. She's actually 154 feet wide, which is really nice for the stabilization. Alright, when you enter the Oasis of the Seas, you're going to be overwhelmed as soon as you get on the Promenade Deck. As you can see, it's almost like being in a mall with stores on both sides of the hallway. They have a Starbucks. The only thing I don't like about it too much is that the elevators are either aft or forward. There are no midship elevators. As you can see, it has the boardwalk in the back. It's absolutely stunning. The only thing I didn't like about it was this. They tell you what day of the week it is, and as it gets closer to the end of your cruise, you hate that. Central Park is beautiful. Again, at nighttime, you can see how nice it is. It looks like you're in a building. They have bars even in Central Park, and those are real plants out there that they take care of, and they water them, and they have to do everything with those because they are real. They're not rubber or anything like that. This is a top view of Central Park. It's got 3 pools and a splash zone. Again, another shot of Central Park. This is looking toward the aft of the ship, and you can go up there. They have zip lining across that, and I'll show you that in a little bit. This is the Aqua Theater in the very back of the ship. Again, they have 3 pools and a splash zone. This is a 0 entry pool, as you can see, and then it drops off to have a sports pool. This is what it looks like at night, looking down through the windows in Central Park down to the thing. Now, not everybody gets excited about this. I just couldn't resist, sorry. I mean, at least I blurred their faces out, because I'm sure they were passed out. They must have been having a great time. But anyway, the Oasis, the ship is absolutely beautiful. Very well laid out. The casinos that they have are half smoking, half not, and it's actually divided off into 2 different sides. And remarkable ship. Very fun. We had a great time on it. So, with that said, you can kind of tell where I'm going with this, and the winner of this is, when it comes to the ship, and again, Carnival Mardi Gras is our favorite ship right now, but the Royal Caribbean Oasis of the Seas takes it all. They are the winner of this category. Alright, next up, service. Alright, starting with Carnival. We have really never had bad service, and we have done a lot of Carnival ships, but we've never really had any bad service on the ship. A little slow sometimes if they were real busy, but not bad service. Generally, our food is always hot, and I've heard some complaints from other people saying that their food was cold and all that. We have never, in 58 Carnival cruises, we have never ever had that problem. Our food has always been really, really good on Carnival, but the service is great. Guest services has always been very accommodating. The bar servers and the bartenders have always been great to us, and that's one of the things that we like about Carnival. Moving on to NCL, the Norwegian Getaway, we had great service, but the crew didn't seem to want to interact with guests, and I know that some of the cruise lines, they don't want them interacting with the guests too much and carrying on. And then Royal Caribbean, again, we had kind of bad service on the Oasis. Don't get me wrong, the guy was trying, but he couldn't keep up. There was, I think, 10 of us there at the table, but he was trying and he couldn't keep up, and our food was actually cold a couple of times, and it took us probably 2 to 2.5 hours to eat dinner in there every night. When we would go to the bars, they were pretty much about business, and basically they threw their beer, up on the counter and said, "Here you go." And there really wasn't a lot of communication. We like to communicate with people. If you've seen in my videos, I like to get with people and chit chat with them, and they're all about business. Royal Caribbean. So the winner of this category, because we've always loved Carnival, we loved it that the crew gets involved in with you, and carries on with you, and actually jokes with you, and so the winner of the service is definitely going to be Carnival. All right, and our 4th category is going to be our favorite, food. Okay, so first of all, we're going to talk about Carnival's food. All right, so Carnival's food is pretty much the same on all their ships. Usually the first night it's the roasted tomato soup and the baked chicken, and their menus, you can almost tell what you're going to get on those nights when you go on a cruise. Food to us has always been good. It's not over the top, but it is good. And what I like about the Mardi Gras is the Cucini del Capitano the chabang, which is your Mexican and Chinese mixed, and your pig and anchor is all complimentary. There's no extra charge on these ships. So the food was pretty darn good at those places that we ate. Alright, up next, Norwegian Getaway. Their food. Pretty remarkable. Alright, Norwegian Getaway's food. Again, this is a picture of their paella that they had at the buffet. Their stuff was remarkable. Their food, they had so many different options to eat at. They had 6 of these stations throughout the buffet area, and it went on forever and ever, and there was never any lines, and the food was absolutely excellent. It's not many cruise ships that have chicken wings and all that stuff. Now, Norwegian had a restaurant by the atrium, and it was called O'Sheehan's, and during the day they had chicken wings. It almost reminded you, if you have a Beef O'Brady's near your house, that it had chicken wings, soup, you name it, they had it, and it was really good. And then at night the menu got smaller, but you could still get food 24/7 on that ship. The food was excellent. Terry got went to Margaritaville, which is an upcharge, and she got the burger that you see there in the picture, and it was really good. She said it was cooked very well. And but the food, the desserts, everything actually had some flavor to them, and they were really, really good. Alright, next up, Royal Caribbean's Oasis of the Seas. I don't have really any food pictures for Royal Caribbean. I don't know why I can't find any. But Royal Caribbean's food to us was very comparable to Carnival's food. I found it no better, no worse, but it definitely was, again, more like Carnival food, just the same things kind of over and over. We did not eat, to give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't believe we ate at a specialty restaurant on that ship. We pretty much ate in the dining room every night because we had a big group on that ship at the time. But again, the food was no better than Carnival. So you already seen where I'm going with this one as well. Norwegian Getaway, when it comes to food, was absolutely awesome. And I'm a very picky eater because I don't eat red meat or deep fried foods, but it was phenomenal and plentiful, as you saw that plate of paella in there. So again, Norwegian wins the food category by a long shot. Alright, our next to last category, entertainment. Who had the best entertainment? Well, let's start first with Carnival. Alright, the entertainment on Carnival naturally is done by the Playlist Productions crew, where they basically are hired and then contracted to basically work for Carnival as contractors, and they basically do their own shows. They also have game shows. They have a lot of entertainment. Their comedians are usually some of the best in the cruise industry, and they have many different playlist productions on all the ships. Some ships do duplicate. For example, Epic Rock, which is a great show that is actually right now on the Paradise and the Elation, and they're great. They have the Liars Club, which is what you're seeing here. Absolutely hilarious. And then they have, on the Mardi Gras, they have this the Punchliner Comedy Club, which is a pretty big venue, but it does have some site alignment problems. Alright, and up next is Norwegian Getaway. And again, I don't have a lot of video on their shows, but their shows were actually pretty good. Now, the difference between Carnival and Norwegian and Royal Caribbean is Royal Caribbean and Norwegian basically hire regular, basically shows that you would see in a land-based theater. For example, when we were on the Norwegian, it was basically they had $1 million quartet, and we had seen that here in Tampa, and it was the identical show that we saw. It was still 2.5 hours, and it was absolutely phenomenal as well. And they had the comedian that kept us in stitches. They had the same comedian who had about 5 or 6 different shows while we were on that ship, and he was absolutely hilarious. And he had, like I said, he put on several shows a night, but their venue was not very big. It was actually a very small venue, and but the entertainment was pretty decent. They don't really have the pool things that go on like they do on Carnival, but again, their Broadway show was excellent. Again, same as land-based, and then they had a lot of stuff in the atrium where I told you it was kind of loud, and then they had their bands on board and stuff, which was comparable to Carnival's. All right, and last but not least, Royal Caribbean. If you've ever sailed Royal Caribbean, you know that their entertainment is top-notch. And the nice thing about Royal Caribbean is they have a lot of different shows to go see. Here we go. Alright, so as far as entertainment goes, as you can see, Royal Caribbean has zip lines that basically go over the center of the ship. And it was pretty phenomenal. They have a rock climbing wall that is actually probably about 5 or 6, 7 stories tall. Yes, I did make it to the top of it, but this was right pre-pandemic. As you can see, I end up making it all the way, ringing the bell. They have a diving show that is absolutely phenomenal. These guys actually jump off the top of those towers that you see there. And then they also get into a big fight up here, and then they all fall into that little small pool. And if you go up on the top of the ship and then look down, you'll see how small that pool really actually is. And they actually dive into the pool, and they go through a little tunnel into behind the stage. They have an ice skating rink. They have shows in here. They have regular dry shows, and then they also have ice skating open to the public on there. This is a parade that they usually have on the last night of the cruise, and it goes on for probably close to, I'd say, 45 minutes, and that's a sports bar behind you there where you see all the tickers. And as you can see, Terry acting silly there, being Terry, dancing with the penguins. And again, and now their shows are also Broadway shows. This particular cruise had Cats. I had seen Cats many years before, and we did not go get it. It was a 3-hour show, and it was on a sea day, and we weren't really going to waste our time watching a show that I had already seen when Terry could be at the pool all day long. But again, pretty cool. They do this parade down on the Promenade Deck, and as you can see, it gets a little smoky in there, but it's just that railing folds up and goes right back into the walls, and pretty phenomenal shows, I would say, on Royal Caribbean. I'm not sure what's on that ship at this time, whether it's still Cats or not. If someone wants to leave it in the comments, they can. But great entertainment. Alright, so you kind of know where this one's going as well. Again, NCL has great shows. But Royal Caribbean, because they have the ice skating shows, they have the zip lines, they have the rock climbing walls, they have all this extra stuff. So you guessed it, we're going to have to give entertainment to Royal Caribbean. Only thing about Royal Caribbean that was probably not quite as good as Carnival and NCL was their comedy show. Even the comedian made fun of their comedy show. He made a joke about they build this huge mega ship, and then when they got done building it, they go, oh, comedy show. So they put it in a broom closet. It really, literally is very small, and that's why they have to do so many shows. So, again, Royal Caribbean gets the Entertainment Award. Alrighty, and last on the list is which cruise line is more fun? One has that name. They're called the Fun Ships. Again, going back and looking at all the things that we've talked about, the parties, the mega deck parties on Carnival, the crew who will interact with you, carry on with you, joke with you. We didn't see that on Royal Caribbean, and we didn't see that on NCL. They were nice, they were great, they were nice people, they were good, but they just didn't interact with you like they do on Carnival. So Carnival gets the big, you guessed it, the fun. So anyway, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you would, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down there. Hit that notification bell. In 2 days, we are getting ready to go, or Thursday, we're getting ready to go back on the Carnival Freedom, the Carnival ship without a whale tail. So we'll see what that looks like and everything up really close. And we're going to go on a 4-day out into the Eastern Caribbean, where naturally there's another hurricane. But that'll be like twice we've been out in hurricanes this year. But I think it's going to be gone before we get there. But again, thanks for watching. Have a great evening. Hope you enjoyed what I did. Thank you.